And it's Thursday. Unbelievably. The weeks are actually going so fast. And I know we're perhaps looking, a lot of people I know, I've heard it in the last few days, how people are looking to Sunday to see what's going to happen. But again, I just encourage you to be in the present moment, because there's quite a few days and hours to go before Sunday. So don't lose that precious time by looking towards Sunday for the answer to all our problems. Just take each step and take each day as it comes, because that's where the peace really lies. So today, I'm going to invite you to look away from your problems, in inverted commas. I don't really like that word, to be fair, but I think my own journey, which some of you will know about, took me from just over 5 years ago, the 31st of March 2015, when I burnt out basically during my role as a head teacher, to today. So the last 5 years have been really, really interesting for me in terms of my own attempts to fix myself. And I would say there's been a lot of that in my life. And obviously I work in hypnotherapy, NLP, other things that I guess you might call tools to help fix you. And I also, as well as seeking help from outside, I spent a lot of time working on myself. So I've listened to a lot of self-development books, don't mostly listen, not brilliant on the reading side, and read a lot, and accessed lots of little courses, and been on loads of events, and also seen lots and lots of therapists, and also taken up lots of habitual practices. So I used to speak a lot on something I called the Stress to Success Habits, which was all about keeping gratitude journals and meditating, all those things. And I still keep a gratitude journal, and I still meditate, but I do those things from a very different place now. I did them in the past to try and fix my head. So meditation, I always advocated doing that, because it helps to quieten the mind, and then in life you can have a quieter mind. And I still would say that probably it does help, but and the gratitude journal, that's all about rewiring your mind so that you can see more things to be grateful for. And I still do those practices, but I don't do them anymore with this sense of needing to fix myself in some way, to improve myself, because I now know the most simple thing in the world, the most simple understanding that my kind of guru of the moment, who probably will be my guru forever, actually, because I'm settled into this way of looking at life now, Michael Neal, he talks about this idea of the inside out understanding, which is where I now find myself. And he says it's the simplest thing in the world, but actually it's not easy. Because simple things, simple concepts are not always easy to actually be part of your daily life. So the simplicity of the understanding is, on its very basic level, that our experience is being created by our thinking. And I kind of pause there for a minute to just allow you to have that settle into your mind, that the stuff outside of us, the circumstances, the people's behavior, the coronavirus, if you like, is creating our feelings, our experience of life. It just isn't true. Those things cannot create your experience of life. It's your thinking about those things that creates your experience of life. So I started off today talking about all those things I'd done in life to help me be better, be a better person, procrastinate less, be more motivated, not be depressed, blah, 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 have a quieter mind, blah, blah, blah. And the difference with this way of looking at helping, I suppose, is that instead of spending long periods of time unpicking your past and trying to find out where it came from, and perhaps doing some work through hypnotherapy to reframe things, which I still I still can't knock that in terms of how it's had value for me. This is a very different way of looking at those things, and the key is to stop looking at them, because even the thought that this experience from my childhood is making me who I am today is still a thought. And the more we think that, the kind of more difficult it is to shake off that experience, to let it go, because we can't do anything about the past. And so if you think that this horrible experience you had as a child has created this person who stands in front of the mirror today, then how can you, it's more difficult to let go of that experience if all the time it's there. And I guess through a lot of the talking therapies, there'll be a lot of talking about those kind of things and unpicking them. So the way this idea, this inside out understanding, this is called the 3 principles, the way this works is that we stop looking at those things. We stop unpicking them and turning them over and trying to, find the answers. And we just look over here to an understanding that all that stuff is thinking. It's all created in our heads. And as we look over here, what I'm finding is that all the stuff over here is just melting away. And Donna's right when she says it becomes self-fulfilling. So if you keep telling yourself, this experience from my childhood created this monstrous experience of my childhood creates how I am. You're not monstrous. It creates how I am today. Then it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what I'd also say about that as well is the labels that people then adopt as a result of this. I hear so often when I work with people who have too much anxious thinking, they say, my anxiety, my depression. The attachment to that label is very strong, and Donna's right there, the self-fulfilling prophecy becomes real. A lot of people I have who come and see me with a lot of anxious thinking, is a lot of that anxious thinking is the fear of having anxious feelings in a situation that's coming up in the future. So there's not just a layer of fear about a situation, there's the fear of how they'll respond in that situation. The fear that anxiety will come in that situation creates additional anxiety. All of that is just thinking. It's all just up here, buzzing around. I've heard it called a thought storm, and I can't remember who said that. It might be Nicola Bird, actually, who's another great author who I've been listening to. It becomes such a heavy, buzzing, weighty thing around your mind that you can't see anything else. And as you begin to look towards this understanding, as you begin to realize not just one thought, not just the silly thoughts, not just the ones that you can kind of brush away, all your thoughts are made up, all of them are not real, then all that other stuff, the stuff you've been looking at probably for a long time and poking and prodding and trying to fix in yourself, it all just melts away because you realize it's all just thinking. And that's when I talk about innate well-being. That's what that is. Innate well-being is always there. You are perfect just the way you are. You are there all the time. That you with the peace of mind, that you who is well, that you who doesn't need to wear that label anymore. They're there all the time. All the time. They're always there. All that's hiding that innately well version of you is a load of noisy, unnecessary, and busy thinking that's hiding you. And I find more and more now that as I look towards that peaceful place, towards that different way of looking at life and the different way of looking at thinking, my mind is just so much quieter. And then I notice that I am being guided in a much more strong way. So whether you are a gut instinct kind of British person or you like a bit of woo-woo, there's something about innate wisdom, there's something about gut instinct that you can't hear when there's all this noisy orchestra of thought going blah, 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 with the big bass drum and the trombone and all the other noisy instruments. And then there's this little flute down here somewhere in your gut or your heart that's going, listen to me, I know what's right, I know what to do next. And because all of this stuff is in the future, mostly making up the future and telling us how terrible it's going to be, what you don't hear then is that little bit of intuition just saying, well, all you need to do is just this. Right now, all you need to do is this. Just do this thing now. This little thing. That next little step. And so, even the smallest thing I would perhaps guide you to do is to just drop all those labels. They're just thought. Even the word anxiety is a made-up thing, a made-up concept. If I say anxiety to a room full of people, I guarantee if there's 100 people in that room, there'll be about 125 concepts of what anxiety is. So it's just made up because it's different in every single person. No two people are thinking it in the same way or feeling it in the same way. So if you've got a label that you've had for a while, just stop using it. It's all just thinking. It's depressive thinking. It's thinking depressively or depression thinking. I'm not sure how to phrase that one. It's anxious thinking. It's stressful thinking. It's all just thinking. And no matter what word you put in front of thinking, it's all just thinking. And none of it's true. So try to stop looking at what you think is you. Because you are not your thinking. And you are your innate well-being and you are inner peace. That's always there. And I just guide you to look in a different direction. And to just keep gently nudging yourself in that direction. Become the watcher of your thoughts. And if you can start to notice their randomness and their funniness sometimes and their ridiculousness in other times, and notice how your thinking changes, how you can sometimes see something and make a very quick judgment and have a thought about it. And then a few minutes later, something else you see makes you realize that first thing you saw wasn't true at all. And then your thinking changes in an instant. And it's those little things like that. More and more, it's about just watching your thinking and watching where your attention goes, because Michael Neal says all the time, I think he says you're not in control, but you're not in control. So you're not in control of what thought pops into your head and the randomness of that. You're not in control of a lot of things that happen in your head. But the thing you can do is you can control where your attention goes, and you can draw your attention towards this understanding. Notice how much more peaceful you feel. So I hope that's been useful. Has anybody got any questions? Because I've got a few of you watching now, or if you want to questions in the comments, I'll come back to those later, and I'll either do another video if it seems appropriate, or I will just answer those in writing. If you do want to talk further about this understanding and it's starting to maybe trickle into your mind, it is just a drip approach. Doesn't suddenly, for some people I think it suddenly clicks because they're already close to it anyway, but for others it is just a drip approach and just see what comes up. But again, if you want to talk to me about it further, message me or book a session and have an hour of my time, which I love to give, and I just want to talk more and more to people about this so that I can help as many people as possible to find inner peace and innate well-being. So after this, I am going out into that beautiful sunshine for a walk shortly. I hope you're getting out in the sunshine too. As I said right at the beginning, just stay in the present. Whatever happens this weekend, the present moment is still going to be there because that's all you've really got. The future will happen the way it happens. So do take care of yourself. I'm not going to come online probably tomorrow because it's a bank holiday, which has really confused me because it's the wrong end of the week, and how confusing is that? But it is a bank holiday tomorrow, so I'm going to have a little bit of time off from this, but I will see you again on Monday with a meditation. Do take care and enjoy the rest of your day and have a nice long weekend. See you later. Bye.